again, this is Miss Razan. In this video, I'm gonna explain the main things in two lessons which are 3.6 and 3.7. So in the first lesson, which is growth and the factors affecting growth, we have to explain main four things or 4 points. Okay, let's start with the first point, which is what is the meaning of growth? So what do we mean by growth? What do you think? If you remember in 7th grade, we say that growth is one of the life processes. So it's very important to know the meaning of growth. Actually, growth means making more cells. And it can also mean cells getting bigger because they make more material. So we can define it in two ways. The first one, growth means making more cells, and also when cells getting bigger is called growth. So focus on this picture. Here we have the growing of the baby. So the second thing in this lesson, how does growth change through life? So we are going to explain how does growth change through life. Let's start in the beginning of the human, which is the fertilized egg. So a fertilized egg divides to make new cells. And the new cells divide again and again. So we have fertilized egg. This fertilized egg start dividing. So after that, each cell starts dividing again and again. Then those cells use food to get bigger. So you can grow by making new cells, by dividing the cells inside the body, or by increasing the size of the cells when they use food. Now after birthing, here, you have to know that a baby grows very fast in the first few months of its life. And the baby will grow until it reaches puberty. So the baby grows very fast in the first few months of its life. And the baby will grow until it reaches puberty. So what do we mean by puberty? We say that this girl is in a puberty stage. So what do we mean by puberty? Actually, puberty is the stage at which the body changes from a child to an adult, and this adult is ready for reproduction. So it's very important to know the meaning of puberty. Puberty is the stage at which the body changes from a child to an adult, and this adult is ready for reproduction. So until now we defined two concepts, which are growth and puberty. And we explained how does growth change through life. Now the third point is growth chart. So the question now is, what do we mean when we say that we make a growth chart? Okay, actually growth chart means a graph. So if you are looking here, you will find that we have a graph which shows the average expected growth of children over time. So this chart shows the average expected growth of children over time. So it shows the average expected growth of children over time. So if you focus on those two growth charts, The first chart shows the growth of the girls depending on their age and weight and also the height. So making a growth chart needs the three things, which are age, weight, and height. This chart for girls and this chart for boys. So the second chart, the same, it shows the growth of the boys depending on their age, weight, and height. Okay, so again, what do you mean by growth chart? Actually, it's a graph which shows the average expected growth of children over time. Okay, now the last thing in this lesson, the factors that affect growth. So what affects growth? Or what are the factors that affect growth? Actually, I'm gonna mention 4 factors and I'm gonna explain why each factor affects the growth. Let's start with balanced diet. Now, you know that a balanced diet is very important to grow well. And we say that if we did not eat, for example, vitamins and minerals that can affect growth and can make an infectious diseases. Okay, so we have to eat a balanced diet to grow well. So when children don't get enough, for example, protein and energy from their food, they will not be able to grow properly. So it's very important to eat a balanced diet. And also they have to drink a clean water. You know that most the contents inside our body is water. So water is very important. So they have also to drink a clean water. The third factor is cigarette smoke. We said before that cigarette smoke causes a lack of oxygen in the blood of the developing baby. And this means that the cells cannot respire properly. So they can't grow. And the baby will be very small. So cigarette smoke is very dangerous. And the baby will be very small. Okay? The last factor, which is alcohol. Also, alcohol affects the way the brain of the baby grows. So alcohol affects the brain, the growth of the brain. So those are the main 4 factors that affect on growth. Now let's start with lesson 3.7, which is the change during adolescence. Actually, adolescence means puberty. So in this lesson, we are going to describe how the body changed during puberty in both girls and boys. Okay, let's start. Let's redefine the puberty. We say that puberty means the stage at which the body changed from a child to an adult, and this adult is ready for reproduction. So puberty for girls and also for boys. Okay, now how does the body change during puberty in boys? Now we have to know how does the body change during puberty in boys. The first thing you have to know that puberty in boys usually begins between the ages of 11 and 16. So between 11 to 16, usually the puberty in boys begins. Now, what are the changes, or how does the body change during puberty in boys? The first thing, facial hair. So we have facial hair and body hair. During puberty, facial hair starts to grow, and also body hair appears. Those are the first two things that happened in the boy. Now the third thing, the Adam's apple gets larger. What is the Adam's apple? Actually, it's the larynx itself. So the larynx in boy's throat gets larger. And number 4, the voice becomes deeper. So until now, 4 things change in the boys. The first one, facial hair starts to grow, and also body hair appears. The Adam's apple gets larger, and the voice becomes deeper. Those are the main 4 things that change during puberty for the boys. Now let's see, how does the body change during puberty in girls? Not in boys, here in girls. Okay, the first thing that you have to know, that a girl's breasts develop. So during puberty, the girl's breasts develop and they become larger, and the nipples are more obvious. So the size and the shape of the breasts varies from one girl to another. So the main idea here, that a girl's breasts develop. The second thing, the body shape alters. So how the body shape alters? Actually, fat develops around her hips. So the fat develops around the girl's hips. So those are the first 2 things that change. The third thing, the ovary began to release a ripe ovum each month. So we said before, during puberty, the ovaries can release an ovum each month. So it's one of the things that happened after puberty. The fourth point, the uterus prepares for pregnancy. So after puberty, the girl can be pregnant. So the uterus prepares for pregnancy and the period begins. So before puberty, there would be no period, but after puberty, the period begins. Okay, so those are the 5 things that happened after puberties for girls. Now we have changes happened for everyone, for boys and girls, and here we have 3 things that change in boys and girls together. So you become moody for girls and boys. After puberty, they become moody. And also the sex hormones affect your skin for girls and boys. The skin will be affected by the sex hormones. And you develop a strong body smell. So for girls and boys also, they develop a strong body smell. So those are the things that change for both sex or both gender, for male and female, for girls and boys. So memorize the things that we mentioned in those 2 lessons, and good luck.